You are like a tiger, and you are a tiger. Can you find any difference between these two sentences? Realistically speaking, you cannot be like a tiger or you cannot be a tiger. So there is something special about these constructions. These constructions are called figurative use. There are some people who love to decorate themselves, and there are some people, especially poets, writers, and orators, they love to decorate their language. They try to sharpen their language to increase the appeal. This comes within the subject called rhetoric, and rhetoric depends on different figures of speech. There are many in the English language. Sometimes they are called just figure, sometimes figures of speech, sometimes tropes, etc. Today, we are trying to discuss the two most popular and frequently used figures of speech, simile and metaphor. Hello guys, this is TITBITS number 4 of Language Mantra channel. Today we have two items, simile and metaphor. Both are figures of speech. Now, simile and metaphor are very closely related items. Sometimes they are treated as a pair, and they are so interrelated that you can convert a simile into a metaphor and a metaphor into a simile. Let's speak of simile first. The word comes very close to simile, is similar. So it's a figure of speech that tries to compare two things. That means two things of different types, different kinds. That must be remembered. When I say you are like a tiger, there are two things. One is a tiger and the other is you. So a man and a tiger somehow brought together. So this is a simile. But if you say that Maria is as beautiful as Tanya, it is not a simile. It is a good sentence, but very common use of language. There is no figurative meaning here, but here it is. So, whenever you speak of similes, there must be two items different in kinds, and those items must be joined by words like as, such as, just as, like, etc. So I think more examples are necessary. Let's see. We two alone will sing like birds. We two alone will sing like bird. Like, this conjoins two parts. And this is from King Lear's dialogue. King Lear is defeated and Cordelia is defeated. So after a long time and suffering, father and daughter come together and they are in the prison house. Comparison is with two caged birds. Maybe King Lear is trying to comfort her. Okay, finally, we are in prison, but like caged birds, we will be singing here and try to find some comfort together. So you see how simile can be poetically evocative and powerful. Let's see another example from a modern poem. It's T.S. Eliot's poem, Let's Go Then, You and I, when the evening is spread out against the sky. Evening is spread out against the sky, one idea, and like a patient etherized upon a table. Second idea is like a patient etherized under the influence of anesthesia, unconscious, laid on a table. So evening is on the one hand against the background of a sky, and on the another there is a patient lying on the table and maybe waiting for treatment. So you see, enough space is given there for poetic evocation. Maybe this evening is not just an evening. It's maybe a crisis moment. Light is coming to an end. It's a crisis of civilization. And that civilization is like a patient and it needs some sort of medication. So this is the idea. You have enough space for poetic evocation. You can interpret it this way, that way, and in many ways. So we have seen how simile can be a poetic tool. It is just not, comparison of two items, but two different items. One item is a kind of superior item. Here, for example, tiger, so far as power is concerned, tiger is a superior item. Tiger is a superior agent, and that superior power is imposed on you. It becomes simile. When two similes come together, it is called double simile. Like a child from the womb, and like a ghost from the tomb. And there is another kind of simile that is called epic simile or Homeric simile. That simile is not different in nature, but when it is epic, subject must be grand, style must be grand, and it is more elaborated. So simple simile, more elaborated, is called epic simile. Let's have an example. This is from Iliad, Homer's famous epic poem. Your heart is tireless. Your heart is tireless, like a wood chopping axe. Wood chopping axe, an instrument, iron or steel instrument to chop woods. So your heart is tireless like a wood chopping axe, wielded by a craftsman cutting timber for a ship. And that axe is in the hand of an expert wood cutter. He is cutting timber for making ship. So you see the similarities. Your heart is tireless like a wood chopping axe. You can use an axe time and again. So wielded by a craftsman cutting timber for a ship, that does not end there. The idea continues. The axe makes his force stronger. The woodcutter, his force, his power is made stronger by the axe. So your mind is making you more sharper, more powerful. That the spirit in your chest is fearless, and you are a fearless person. You are an able warrior. Actually, Paris is showering heaps of praise upon Hector, an able warrior. So you see how similes can be extended 4 lines, 5 lines, 10 lines, no problem. And in that case, that that extended similes are called Homeric similes or epic similes. Now come to metaphor. Metaphor is implied similes. It is very much simile, but these words are not there. As or like, just as, these words do not exist there. And what happens? In similes, two things are very prominent differently. You are like a tiger. You and tiger are different objects. Whereas in metaphor, you are a tiger. Tiger and you, these two items become inseparable. As if, the force of tiger, the power of tiger is imported and imposed upon you. This is metaphor. My heart is as strong as stone. This is simile. But I can say my heart is made of stone. This becomes, metaphor. So metaphor also serves the same purpose. But remember one thing, when we say he is a donkey, it is metaphor, because some qualities of donkey is imposed upon he. That means he is as dull as a donkey. There is no difference between he and donkey. He is represented by donkey. He is not like donkey. He himself becomes donkey. So this is the difference between simile and metaphor. One thing more, he is in the focus. So what is in the focus in a sentence is called tenor. This is a technical term. It is called tenor. And donkey actually gives quality, good or bad, whatever, to the tenor. And it becomes vehicle. Vehicle means, any car is a vehicle. So donkey actually carries some good quality or bad quality and transport to the subject, he. Therefore, you must remember, he is tenor and donkey is vehicle. It means he is as dull as a donkey. So this is very simple. Similar things do not work here. Comparison is always between two dissimilar items. And number two, that metaphor is a comparison like simile, but there is no question of like, as, etc. Here subject, tenor and vehicle, these two items become one and inseparable. So I think this will help you understand the difference between simile and metaphor. Those who are students of literature, they may find this interesting, or this may help them. And those who are interested in language, they also may have some interest in this kind of figures of speech. Maybe there are so many. Sometime later we can take up more items like this. So this much today. Have a nice time. Thank you very much.